Hey, what's up, everybody? Mogia Monster here, and welcome to Why the Fascination, or WTF as we like to call it. Hope everybody's doing good. It's good to see everybody in chat already. Bunch of people here already. Wow. Who we got here? Stevie B. What's up? Hi. It's funny. It's just the first name I looked at. Sandra Piper, how are you? Hey, Val. Mr. Lee, what's up, buddy? Hey, Jay, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Jay Fritz. Jay just said amen. Did he hear us? I just prayed before I came on. The last thing I said before I came on was amen. I was like, did Jay hear us? Charlie, what's happening, man? Howling Underdog Films. Hey, Jeff. Pine Island Research. What's going on? Yeah, I had to put the mic in front of me because I actually have it on my tripod for my camera. I taped it to it. So it's kind of got a glare, though. Oh, well. Angel Nolan. Probably said that already. Sorry. Scrolling up. So what are you guys up to tonight? Everybody's doing good. I see you're here. So that's a good sign, I think. If you're new to the channel, Grasshopper, what's up, buddy? If you're new to the channel, if you've never been here before and you're kind of curious at what's up, what I do is I'll post the link in chat and anybody can come on and hang out, bullshit, talk about whatever you want to talk about, Bigfoot, cryptids, fishing, anything. We just happen to be in a Bigfoot community. And I couldn't think of any other place I'd rather be, I just can't see other communities having this bond. I don't know. It's weird. Unless you're the I don't know. Can't think of another one. Another genre. It's like, I don't think that people in Joe Rogan's chat are hanging out together. So you guys are more of a family. Claude, how's it going? Cindy Finn, Mr. Hugh, Ida Bustamante. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll post a link in chat and anybody can click on, just follow the directions. Simple. And if you don't want to be on camera, you can just go down to the bottom of the screen and hit stop camera. And oh, I forgot I just put that up. That's actually a picture I took of the moon. I have a shit ton of them. That's what I do. I have so many pictures of sunrises, full moons. You know what? I have to actually copy the link myself. All right. There you go. Nikki, what's happening? Good to see you. Chessboard. Hey, Jen. Chuck Gonzalez, what's going on, man? Welcome. New name? Harry Man, Hoaxes and Hoodwinks. I said hi to Nikki. That's who Nikki is. You got to check out her channel. She has some good interviews on there and some good shows. So check it out. North Alabama Cryptid. What's up, buddy? How's the missus? Hope you guys are well. Mary, nice to see you. I'm sure I pronounced it wrong. Emma Johnson, what's up, girl? Great to see you. So yeah, nothing new. Well, actually, what do? We just Stevie and I took a ride up to Daytona, and we went up for the full moon. So that was cool. A little cloudy, so the beginning of it was behind clouds, so wasn't got some good pictures. And then the next morning, I did the sunrise. I caught that again, a little cloudy, but it was cool. Because if there's no clouds when the moon comes up, same as the sun, but you just get this amazing photo op because it just peeks over the horizon, over the water. We had a good time. We just hung out, stayed up there overnight, and then did a little fishing. Found a spot, found a bait shop first, and of course asked the locals, and they directed us. And it was the tide was going out, so I like to fish the incoming tide. But I caught a couple catfish I didn't want to catch. They're fun to catch, but they can really mess you up. I don't really know if you remember last year, I got tagged in the thumb by a catfish. It was those bastards. And what else? Got what did I get? I'm trying to remember. It was a snapper, a mangrove snapper. That's what it was. It was a small one. But it was also a little disheartening to see, more devastation from Hurricane Ian. Boats, underwater and park walkways washed away. They had this really nice walkway that went over the water. It was all, wood, like a boardwalk. No, it was a boardwalk. It wasn't like one. And half of that got washed away. I mean, because we looked at it, we got to this park and we're like, she's like, is that supposed to be that way? I'm like, no, I don't think so. So I walked around and you could see the rest of the boardwalk washed up on shore. A lot of hotels, because where we stopped originally, we went to Ponce Inlet. And you couldn't get to, they had part of it closed off, but we went to the beach to check it out, and where there were sand dunes before, they were gone. That was, and the walkways, the wood walkways going down the to the beach, they were destroyed. So people were making different, other walkways, but it was weird because Stevie was like, well, what the hell? Because, she used to come and hang out on those dunes. Yeah, she just said she wanted to cry. So yeah, it was, it was tough to see, but people are bouncing back. A lot of the hotels being so close to the water, had, I guess water got in because there was a lot of stuff at the curb, mattresses, and just there was a lot of flooding at one point. Brian and Chewy, what's up? Hey, Judy Wheeler. So, Judy, Stevie told me what you were talking to her about, and yeah, but I'd like to know a little ahead of time so I can actually advertise something. Bob Van Buren, what's up, buddy? Chris Jarvis, what's going on? Mr. Vaughn, how you doing, Patrick? Put her on your shoulders, says Patrick. I'm going to put the link again one more time. Again, anybody wants to pop on, click on the link, follow the directions, and come hang out. Finding the Trackway, what's up? Stupid question time in seriousness. Anyone ever see a shadow with either reflective or glowing eyes. No, not me. However, my sister saw a shadow one day. She was sitting on her balcony and she looked across the street and there was a wall. And there was a gentleman coming up the walkway who seemed very disturbed. And it was on the other side of the street and talking to himself, really like freaking out. And as he walked the wall, in front of the wall, she could see, his shadow where it should be following him, but it was projected on the wall. And all of a sudden, her shadow bent down to pick something up, or his shadow, I should say, it was a he, bent down to pick something up, and he didn't move. So that kind of freaked her out. But shadow with glowing eyes, no. Cindy says, shadow, yes. Glowing eyes, no. Oh, what happened, Chris? Hold on. Let me see. Sorry, guys. I'm just scrolling back to find Chris's comment. Oh, no. Bill, my condolences on the passing of your wife, Carol. Our hearts, wow, go out to you. Yeah. So sorry to hear that. Hopefully, you'll hear this, and Chris, thanks for sharing that. I had no idea. I knew things were not good. Prayers to the King family. It's unfortunate. Bat Mom, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, Jimbo, what's up, buddy? Who else? Catherine Lundquist. What's up? I love to see all these repeat names. Just, I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I do. I love hanging out with you guys. I like talking to you too. So, here's the link. Hint, hint. So if anybody wants to pop on, hit that link, come hang out. Yeah, I'd never been to Daytona Beach before. It was different. It was, I guess they call it the working man's town, or the blue collar town, whatever somebody mentioned. But it was cool. I was surprised at how small the beach was. But then Stevie was like, it used to go out twice this far. And I'm like, oh, it's amazing how, erosion and weather and waves and can just, change it in the heart and overnight. Barb Santee, what's up? Good to see you. Jimbo says, let's not go look for swamp ass tonight. I hope I missed something before that. Who else is here? I don't know if it's this light that causes me not to be able to read, or my eyes are just that screwed. All of a sudden I found myself leaning in. I'm like, damn it. I just have my camera set at a certain area, but I keep trying to pull the computer close to me. It's already like half off the table, but the microphone stand is blocking it. Faster man, what's up? Mr. Fuller, how's it going, Donald? Who else is here? So Donald, I finally saw what you were talking about with those the fishermen those walleye fishermen that cheated. I think they got arrested today, didn't they? Or yesterday? But yeah, that's messed up. So how many other tournaments did they do that in? You know, they should I'm curious to see what happens with that. What kind of, I mean, it's fraud or what, I don't know what it would be exactly. So what happened, guys, if you're going, what are they talking about? Couple top walleye fishermen. I don't know if they were in the bass circuit at all or just walleye fishermen. They got caught cheating. They stuffed weights down, the fish, and also other fillets of fish just to put that much more weight. And finally somebody questioned it because they were like, how the hell are those fish bigger than mine or way more than mine? And the judges cut them open and caught them cheating. And they had won. I mean, that tournament alone was like a 30 grand tournament. And, so who's to say how many others they cheated on? So I'm glad they got caught. That just gives people that's just, it's fucked up. As a fisherman and just a good human being, I couldn't do that to other people. If you're gonna do that, do it fairly. If you're gonna be in a tournament or but wow, greed and notoriety, fame, whatever, they had it in that circuit, and yeah, that's all gone, and they're in jail, dumbasses. Ben, what's up? BPD 1976. Good to see you. See? Pine Island Research. Jeff says, I fished a tournament against them that they won at Lake Mille Lacs in Minnesota. I've read that name before, but I don't think I've ever said it. Mille Lacs. Excuse me. Exactly, Breeze. What's up, buddy? This is Play Fair. Miss Still, how are you? Thank you for posting my stream. Come on, guys. You don't have an excuse. Can't say, oh, I didn't see it. It's right there. Love to talk to one of you. All of you. I guess I am talking to all of you, but you know what I mean. Who else? We have 59 watching. Right on. Here, Jeff says they've won several hundreds of thousands of dollars in tournaments in the past 2 years and had been accused several times of cheating. Most competitors labeled them cheaters long ago. Why did it take that long to somebody finally cut open a fish? That seems. Let's find out. What's up, Jeff? Let's find out. What's going on, man? What's up, Jeff?
I'm going to tell you a little bit about these fellas. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, I want to hear it.
Give me just a second here. I'm going to throw my earbuds in.
That just takes such balls.
Yeah.
I've seen it done on fishing trips I've been on and on party boats, where you enter a pool and whoever has the biggest fish or the one that weighs the most wins. And then people would come in with these fish that were like, what? And the mates knew that people would do it. They'd just they'd shake it out of the tail, instead of cutting it out, they'd fall out. They would just shake the weights out. And you don't want to be around a bunch of pissed off drunk fishermen.
Mm-hmm. But, I think when you start making big prize pools in a tournament and you're attracting 100 teams, you understand these guys are showing up with $100,000 boats, with $100,000 tow vehicles. They got a lot vested in it, and they're pretty proud of their ability to go out and compete competitively, you know. But
well, that's what sponsors are for.
yeah, well, usually the cheating is done and it's often that somebody's cheating, but it's in an anonymous way to where, you know, for example, I was fishing the Governor's Cup in South Dakota. This is several years ago, like 8 or 9 years ago. And it was a 2-day tournament. And the first day it was fairly windy and we were pulling plugs. It was on the Missouri River on Lake Oahe. And we were like in third place out of, it was probably 100, just over 100 boats in this. And my tournament partner was a guide out of Pierre, so he knew that area real well. And we had to park our boats in a like roped off, secured area that night, and then you could drive your truck to your hotel. But your boat stayed there they had people watching this whole group of boats all night where they were parked so that nobody could put anything in their boat or anything like that. So the next day we wake up and it's dead calm. I mean, there's no wind, there's no breeze. You were not going to go out there and, you know, drift live bait or something. You had to pull plugs. And we wanted to switch over and start fishing live bait when it got calm like that. We get out there, we run like 45 minutes up the reservoir, and I go to drop the trolling motor. The water's like smooth as glass. There's no prop on my trolling motor. Somebody removed it.
Damn.
Well, it was parked overnight.
What's up?
And when we got
Bugs?
back and told everybody about this at the end of the day, we fell from like 3rd to 17th, right? The top 2 spots above us both had their props removed from their trolling motors. So you can't tell me that somebody wasn't cheating. But, you know, like I say, it was done in an anonymous way. Unless you're caught there in the parking lot, you're not standing there with a basket of fish full of lead, you know?
Yeah.
But these guys that were busted, there's some people that are familiar with this trail, and there's other tournament trails other than this one. There's 3 primary ones. But there's some guys that are saying these guys won over $2 million in the last 5 years. That these tournaments are all $40,000 to $50,000 tournaments, and they were fishing 20, 25 of them a year and winning a third of them that they'd enter. You know, they obviously weren't stupid enough to cheat in every one.
They won a third of the tournaments.
Yeah. But now the one thing you gotta understand about these guys that fish these tournaments, a lot of them are guides. A lot of them they catch 5,000 walleyes a year. I mean, you take a walleye and hold it up and say, how much does this fish weigh? They'll tell you within an ounce of what that fish weighs. They've seen it so many times. So when these guys would, in the past, this is last year, they weighed in some fish and there was people in the crowd saying, there's no way that walleye's 4 pound, that they have a 4 pound average there. Those fish aren't bigger than 3 pounds lengthwise. And walleyes are pretty predictable. You know, a 20-inch walleye is going to weigh, 3 pounds. A 28-inch walleye is going to weigh around 8 pounds, give or take a few ounces. You can tell by length how much that fish should weigh. So when you're looking at an 18-inch walleye and you say, well, that should weigh about 2 3/4 pounds, and the thing's weighing 4 pounds, you know something's wrong here.
Yeah. Yeah,
and these guys were seeing these guys at weigh-ins going, man, those fish, they aren't long enough to be that heavy. And they accused him of cheating. And nobody cut open the fish. What they did is they put them on a lie detector test.
What the fuck?
And one of them passed and one of them failed. And the one that failed, they gave him a second test 2 days later, and he passed. So the tournament officials couldn't do anything legally to him. They couldn't keep him from entering more tournaments because they'd passed his test. Now, this time when somebody in the crowd was saying, this is bullshit, those fish are not a 4 pound average. They had 5 fish that weighed, most people were turning in 5 fish and getting 20, 22 pounds, 4 or 5 pounds. They turned in fish that were long enough to be 4 pounds, but they were pulling a 6-pound average. They had like 33 pounds, and these fish weren't any longer than anybody else's. So somebody in the crowd was like, "That's bullshit. Cut the fish open, cut the fish open." And the tournament guy told the guy, "Bring your fish over here." And the director said when he squeezed on him, he could feel that there were like hard balls in them. What they had done is they took 6-ounce lead balls that were not as big as a golf ball, but pretty big, like a lemon drop. And they had taken those and wrapped a small walleye fillet around them before they shoved them down the throat. So when you squeezed them, it'd feel spongy and not hard.
Damn.
I mean, they had this down to a science how they did this. But that guy cut that fish open and squeezed out about 4 of those 6-ounce balls and knew right away that this fish weighed 1 pound, 8 ounces more than it should, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And the cops had to escort these guys out of there because they were about to get just the living shit kicked out of them.
They were going to get killed, huh?
Because all of a sudden everybody knew these were the guys. These guys have been doing this forever, and we finally have them dead to rights. But that's crazy.
No, it's good. It's good to get caught.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's good that it was so public.
Yeah.
Because that, really, it's not the, hey, we aren't able to win 50 grand every other week now. It's the fact that you're just humiliated to a point to where you can't even go to a tournament without people calling you names now, and that's the way it should be. But,
well, so what I thought I heard is they got arrested.
Well, they got arrested not so much for the cheating and winning the tournaments cheating, because it was technically in a court of law, it'd be up to the tournament directors to determine whether or not they're going to accept their fish to weigh or not,
Sure.
What they got busted for is the deception part of it, of all the other 99 anglers who are spending an $800 entry fee, pre-fishing that tournament for 5 days. There's $1,000 in hotel bills. They're coming there with $2,000 tow rigs and boats, and they don't have a fair opportunity to win.
Yeah.
And that's what they're being prosecuted for, is that the fraud in that action. But
imagine if they did it like every contestant could file a separate lawsuit.
Well, I'm not so sure that a
whatever.
judge won't look at this, and I don't know how that would work, because these tournaments were like in 8 different states all across the upper Midwest. But
even that
could a
alone,
judge look at it and say, because the amount of money and because it was done in different states, that this is a federal case, not a state case, and we're going to order you to sell all your possessions, your tow rig, your boat, and everything else, and whoever got second place in all those tournaments that you won, we're going to award them the first place paycheck and make it right for those guys,
Sure.
But
you would like to see that, Jeff?
I think that's the right thing to do. I just don't know if legally you can do it with it being in all those different states and all that.
Yeah.
Well, I just think that they can't. I don't think they could do it retro like that because they can't prove it.
Well, and I think a lot of these interviews that are out there now, there's these tournament directors. They have one tournament director for this main trail that they fish. They were interviewing him, and I have a lot of respect for that guy now after seeing how he handled this. He was the one who called the cops in, not to arrest them, but to get them out of there. Even though he was so pissed that they had cheated, and he was so, he set all that aside and said, these guys are going to lose their lives if they stay here.
Yeah, he pretty much preserved their life.
They were going to get killed if they stayed there.
People were mad. I saw that.
So he asked the cops, would you please just get them out of here so we can deal with this tomorrow and figure this out, Which takes a lot, I mean, he's probably, you'd think out of everybody, he's the one who would really be the most pissed. It's his tournament trail, but
sure.
How often do you fish in walleye tournaments often?
I'm fishing about 5 of them a summer. Just
Oh, really?
most of them are not huge tournaments. In our when one comes to Pier or in Platte or Chamberlain on the Missouri River Reservoir, I know that area well. I've guided on those bodies of water a lot, and so I feel confident enough that even though there's guys that spend more hours fishing than I do, they don't spend more hours fishing those locations than I do.
Okay.
So I think that evens it out where I have a chance. But I wouldn't drive to Michigan to go fish a Lake Erie tournament. I'd expect to get last place. Those guys live and
Yeah.
breathe that lake.
Yeah. So with walleye, I know the way that largemouth bass are and crappie are. I know what structures they hang around and stuff like that. What do walleye hang around? Like drop offs and breaks?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, walleyes are always going to be and they'll change. Like this tournament, when you get late in the year, late summer, they're deep. You'll fish 30 to 60 foot deep pulling crankbaits that just reach down 20 feet and you'll catch them suspended. But
Yeah.
for the most part in the spring and most of the summer, they're going to be between 10 and 30 foot deep, and in the springtime, a lot of times you'll catch them up in 4 or 5 foot of water when they're spawning. So,
In the springtime, they come shallow, right?
yeah, well, they're spawning up on the rocks in the shallow water.
Yeah.
The first walleye I ever caught, and actually the last walleye I caught, was in Arizona. And it was
Really?
in the same lake. Yeah. But I wasn't fishing for it. I was just,
I
but
know.
in Wisconsin, we fished the river and there was a
Yeah.
time of day we knew when they were going to be there.
Oh, yeah. When you get flowage where you have current
Oh,
in
yeah.
the river, they get kind of a little bit more predictable as far as when they're going to feed, when they're not,
Yep.
when they're going to just sit in slack water and be what you call negative fish versus positive fish. Negative fish are there, they're just not actively feeding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Positive fish are looking for chasing schools of minnows. I know WTF Mike in the chat, he's from North Dakota, and he fishes a lot of tournaments, probably over in Minnesota, and the Missouri River runs north and south through the middle of North Dakota and South Dakota.
Okay.
What's up, WTF Mike? I hadn't even seen you slip in there.
So do walleye school up a lot? Like before they spawn?
Yeah.
So you can catch a bunch where you catch one.
Well,
right?
you'll fish for an hour looking for fish, and then that's why I like pulling crankbaits. You cover a lot of ground trolling them at 1.7 mile an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
Just ripping along the shoreline
Okay.
compared to still fishing. Now, if you start all of a sudden, you got 3 of your 4 rods are all bent over with fish on them, you're going to drop a mark on your GPS and come back and try to fish that spot maybe with live bait or vertical jig them or do something because there's something there that's holding fish right there.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you use like a Lindy rig at all?
Yeah. Well, we use a lot of spinners and what they call bottom bouncers. Bottom bouncers are a wire that's about 14 inches long with the weight molded in the middle of it. And then off of it is a little 90 degrees off the top is another piece that has a swivel.
Yeah.
And you'll connect it like a 4 foot long leader to a spinner and a hook, like you would a Lindy rig, a bead and a hook.
Uh-huh.
But that stem on it bounces along the rocks to keep your hook off of the rocks. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a few of them when I was up fishing up there.
So walleye have big teeth.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're big, but they're sharp. There's a lot of them.
So that's why you need a steel leader?
Well, we don't use steel leaders, but we use when you use a bottom bouncer, this is getting boring for a lot of you. When you use bottom, you're tying your mono line or your whatever you're using, power line to the eyelet on the bottom bouncer rig itself. And then off of that bottom bouncer, you'd have a monofilament leader that's maybe 3 to 4 foot long, somewhere between 10 and 15 pounds, probably.
All right. All right.
But no, I very rarely would a walleye. It's not like northern pike or muskies where you get your monoline in a northern or a muskie's mouth. It's like
It's
breaks
gonna
just
break.
immediately.
Yeah, yeah. I got you. I got you.
But they're good fish. They're great eating walleye, and they put up a good fight.
Donald's right. They're nocturnal in the summer. I mean, you can go out on your dock and cast lighted slip bobbers out, which are fun because you just sit there, and when one of those lights disappears because the bobber went under, you know you got a fish on. But typically any body of water that has walleyes, that hour before sundown, all the way through the night, those walleyes are going to be feeding usually.
Mm.
But
I did some good crappie fishing at night.
yeah, that's
And,
another species that's.
And
I think it's easier to catch crappies at night than when the sun's up. But
yeah, we used glow in the dark hooks and minnows.
yeah, when I lived down in Alabama and Georgia, I mean, you'd go to the local marina where they'd have a big light on a pole, on the dock system, and walk out there and throw bobbers out, put a minnow on a hook about 3 foot below a bobber and just throw it out there and it'd go down because those crappies are chasing all the minnows underneath that light.
True.
Well, in Ontario, southern Ontario, we were catching. We went for smallmouth at night.
Ooh.
And, we were pounding them. Big. They call them black bass up there.
Really?
Yeah, and they were amazing.
Yeah, we've got some of the lakes up here in northern Minnesota have big largemouth bass in them, but in South Dakota in the reservoir, huge smallmouth, which actually that the species has gotten so prevalent there that now the bass tours will come to South Dakota to fish smallmouth tournaments.
Yeah, man.
In most of those big bass tournaments, you can weigh small or largemouth bass. It's just most those southern lakes are chasing the largemouth bass, but up in Michigan, Indiana, through the Dakotas and whatnot, there's a lot of good bodies of water that have big smallmouth that virtually have no largemouth bass in them. But
I would love to catch a smallmouth, man. I've never have.
Oh, dude, pound for pound, they're like the best fighting fish.
That's what I heard. Man, they don't have them in South Louisiana, man.
Mr. Lee says, can you catch a fish without any modern equipment? I've got a video on, for Mr. Lee, I'm going to post it on my Pine Island Research channel where we were ice fishing and we were catching bluegills and crappies, just one after the other. They were just piled up under the ice. And we had heated up some ramen for lunch. And I took a ramen noodle and stuck it on a hook and dropped it down and caught bluegills on it. And I got it on video. It's kind of funny.
I did that with a piece of lollipop stick. Caught a bluegill. We ran out of bait, and I was like, oh, what the hell? Because they were just biting everything. And sure enough.
Hey, Jeff, we don't have ice down here. What makes fish congregate? How do you know where the fish are with ice fishing?
Well,
Megan Richardson, how are you?
Today, you cheat. You just use electronics.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
I even have like side scan, what they call live view. I mean, it's you can drill a hole. And
I've
instead
heard
of
of
putting
that,
a transducer that shoots down to the bottom, like in an 18-degree cone. So let's say you're 20 foot deep and you're staying on top of the ice, you drill a hole. Your transducer has a little cone that's narrow at the top, but it gets wider the further down it goes. And at the bottom of the lake in 20 feet of water, it may be showing about 5 foot wide. So when a fish swims through that area, all of a sudden you see it on your locator, right?
Yeah.
They've got side scan now where you take what looks like, about the size of a golf club and mounted on it is a transducer that shoots to the side and down. So I can drill a hole, put this thing in it and turn it 360 degrees real slow and watch my screen. And I can tell not only if there's a fish under me, I can tell if there's a fish in about a 30 or 40 yard circle around me anywhere.
Wow.
you do that when you're ice fishing. It doesn't take long to find fish, but
Yeah, but the people are also dropping cameras down the holes,
oh yeah,
and you know, they've turned it into a video game.
yeah, they have. I'm still kind of I like using a down transducer so I can see if a fish is right under me. And I'd just soon be outside sitting on a bucket, jigging them, watching that screen to tell if something comes right under me. I don't care if something's 20 feet away from me. I'm not fishing 20 feet away from me. Whether it's fishing or hunting, there's something that most real sportsmen subscribe to, and that's the fair chase clause, the fair chase concept. That it should always be fair in how you pursue and harvest an animal or a fish. It shouldn't be where you cast out a net and catch 10,000 of them, and I only want to eat 10 of them. You know.
Sure.
You can't hunt deer with a machine gun. You know what I mean? I mean, it should be fair, but.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. We went right around the corner here. There's a church, and I stopped in and talked to somebody because they have these 2 ponds there, and somebody had mentioned that they fish there. So I went there, and sure as shit, the woman was like, "Oh yeah, go ahead. We stock it." She goes, "You know, we have a fishing ministry once a month, so the families come out and everything." I was
Fishing ministry.
I was catching 3-pounders left and right.
Mm-hmm.
3-pound bass.
Yeah, and then and that was just the average, size. I was using live shiners, and but they were hitting on rubber worms, and but the problem I tried using night crawlers is the damn turtles were eating them. I don't need to catch a turtle. I don't want to,
Nah, nobody wants to catch a turtle.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
We the lake I live on in Minnesota is a pretty big lake, but my house in South Dakota, where I spend most of my time in the winter and stuff, is on a real small little 20-acre private lake. And there's a couple other homes that are on it. And we started it's not a ministry, we just started a sportsman's club, me and about 15 friends of mine, where we went to the Boys and Girls Club in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and we asked them, the Big Brother program, Big Brother, Big Sister program. And I was talking to them, I said, how many kids are in this program? Now, I would encourage people to look in your community at that Big Brother, Big Sister thing, because in Sioux Falls, which was about 200,000 people, there was 297 kids in this program.
Wow.
90% of them are boys who don't have, and out of those 90%, they said 70 or 80% of them don't have a father at home. They live with a single mom.
That is sad.
And so these boys don't have, a male role model in a lot of cases. And so we started this thing to not only take these boys fishing, we wanted to take their moms fishing and teach them these basic things like how to tie a knot,
absolutely,
how to bait a hook, how to identify fish, how do you know what you've just caught, how to take the fish out, the hook out of their mouth, how to handle them. So we had a deal set up where 2 or 3 times a year, the 15 of us would get out there and we would invite like 30 of these kids in this program and their moms to come with. And we'd give them all their mom and their kid each a fishing rod they could keep. But we'd spend the day teaching them how to tie knots, how to do this stuff. And what we found is that if we gave them the rods where all they had to do was go buy some minimal tackle at Walmart and some bait, this is something that they could go out with their sons and do, because so many of these moms were struggling. How do I relate to my son? I mean, they're on a video game or they're whatever. Even if they got involved in soccer or taekwondo, you're giving them a ride there and you're giving them a ride home. You're not out there working. They don't need you to play soccer that day other than as a taxi, right? But we found that when these kids were with their moms and they're out fishing, they kind of needed each other, right? Like, how do you do this again? One was teaching the other and vice versa. And you kind of created these bonds that, it was kind of cool. It was a cool club. It grew and grew, got big enough to where I couldn't really do it anymore. In the state, the South Dakota kind of took it over. But,
Oh,
Wow.
really? Something that you
Yeah.
started. That's
they
cool.
do it now in different towns on different lakes. One day a year on this lake, you can bring your kids, and they'll teach these kids and their moms how to tie hooks. And
That's fantastic, dude. That's amazing.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. That's really respectable.
actually, when my sons were like, hey, do we get to go fishing too? I'd tell them no. I said, you get to go fishing 364 days a year with me whenever we want. This is the one day where I'm going to take somebody else's kid fishing, because you already know, you're already blessed with that opportunity. These kids aren't.
Miss Dill says, "For the love of God, someone come on and change the subject."
I knew that was going to come. Can we talk snowmobiles?
That's funny. Hey, man, I catch crappie, and crappie at night with at my dad's house. Fishing.
Everybody's like,
That's two things. If you talk snowmobiles or fishing, Miss Dill will let you know this is unacceptable.
Miss Dill doesn't like fishing.
"No, I get it. It's been a while. I apologize,
I don't
guys."
think Miss Dill would care if you took her fishing. She'd probably have a good time.
Oh,
But sitting
absolutely.
here listening to you talk about it, I think it's like
Come
nails
fishing,
on
Miss
the
Dill.
chalkboard.
Come fishing with me.
Your trackway's gonna save us all.
Hey, no, I'm going to take the best of both worlds and I'm going to throw them together.
We're gonna fish from snowmobiles.
No.
I see that.
What the heck? That sounds like a heck of a fun troll. No, I just spent the past week going out to fishing ponds, and I was just fishing the ponds, but I had video cameras out up in the woods, pointing up in different directions and all different, because the whole thing, you go out there and you fish or whatever, you're just being you, right?
Yeah.
And you're trying to draw attention from something out there in the woods to come down and see what you're doing. So next time y'all go out pond fishing, put some cameras up.
Yeah. It kind of
Good idea.
goes back to the whole leveraging their curiosity thing, that I really was subscribing to, over the last couple of years, was just, you can go out and put cameras up. That's not a new technique. You can go out and look for casting prints and all this stuff, but doing something that leverages their curiosity that maybe they don't see every day.
I just put the video, camcorders pointed up a little bit of, zoom and in the audio recorders, and I did pick up some interesting sounds and stuff out there.
What's your site, Trackway?
What's that?
What's your do you have a website or?
Not really. I have a bit of I just have a little channel, and I'm really in the starting stages, not a whole lot.
Okay, cool. Would you be willing to tell us what happened?
But over this past week?
Yeah.
But really the main thing, I just caught some just some different noises, just some different noises in the woods I wasn't expecting. I would say I kept hearing this is up I kept hearing this low guttural something saying up, 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 up.
Wow.
And the microphone caught it. I didn't hear it the same way, but that ended up being pond beaver.
Huh.
So
a beaver.
Mm-hmm.
That said up, 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 up.
Yep. And
you said that you'd captured some sounds out there. Have you ever captured any, sounds or vocalizations that you couldn't attribute to what you felt confident was the source?
Well, the whole thing with that started with me hearing wood knocks in May, and I returned to that area to fish there, and just kind of figure out what was going on, and in that particular area, I did have a couple questionable experiences. The autos that I've done in the past week, I got one or two that I'm not too sure of. For the most part, identifying different owls, deer, picking up deer out there. The beaver sounds that was caught me completely off guard because I didn't expect them to sound that low. I was expecting a higher pitch, and and I do know of. I don't know if you want to call them reporting. This word of mouth. Park ranger told me, I guess is the easiest way to say it. And this was years ago about a sighting in the area, and I just go back there, and the idea. There's a lot of places there to fish, and I fish them, and hopefully that perks some interest up or whatever. The noise in the water or whatnot is coming down after the fish.
Well, and hopefully, they're hungry.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of what I felt like. Is like they're coming down here after the fish. At the time, that was my genuine thought process: is something's coming in here and they're after the fish and they want me gone.
Or they want to take a bath and they're really shy. They don't want you.
That's possible too.
Staring at what they got going on.
So.
The Howler, what's happening? Jamie Cotterell, good to see you. Hey, Richie. Just had to throw that in there.
But
sorry, Dill says she's fishing for a cowboy, and I guess Richie jumped in. He said, "Here I am, Miss Dill."
Said, "Yeehaw."
Stevie was like, "Richie, you're not a cowboy." Nice try there, Rich.
I'm not a cowboy, but I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
I play one on YouTube. I was like, for a second, going, "Damn, I don't even have a cowboy hat."
Yeah, I've got my buffalo hat on, or my cow hat.
Cow hat.
Eric would say. I get to go out to that part of the state where there are a lot of cowboys. This is opening week of pheasant season, and we're got some people coming in this week that we're going to be guiding hunting out there on some of our land.
Oh, right on.
And it's an experience. You get out in the middle of South Dakota. Everybody's got boots and cowboy hats and diesel trucks, and I mean, they can tell when you ain't from around here. That's for sure.
Yeah, but you just described the rest of America, dude.
Well,
not necessarily cowboy hats, but you know what I mean. It's
we
usually
used
a
to
ball
joke
cap and a
about
diesel truck.
the cowboys west, in South Dakota we call it East River and West River. Out West River, where all the ranchers are, we always say that you can tell who's a sheep farmer because they tuck their jeans in their boots. Some people.
No one's gonna touch that. I know the punchline, but
do you know the punchline, Trackway?
Yeah.
You slide their back legs in your boots to hold them still.
We had to go there. Where we lose Ben? Where'd he go?
Yeah.
Jeez, like mosquitoes are like pterodactyls around here. My God.
But it was a good week for this past week fishing. I still just was throwing out the old black and blue jig. And
well, Catherine was asking where were you when you set the camera up and things like that. Where was that?
Well, that was out in Ohio.
Yeah.
So I mean, I had one camera pointing one way, the Mrs. Trackway's gone out with me as well. She's go one part of the campground, and we had signaling devices. But last 2 trips wasn't quite as eventful as the first one. Yeah, and
Does she like when you call her Mrs. Trackway?
yeah. So, but yeah, we're having a good time getting out there, seeing what's going on, enjoying nature, and learning more about it.
Catherine, I was thinking the same thing. Ohio is a hot spot.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of stories out of Ohio.
Yeah.
I've been doing a good bit of traveling and looking. We're up in Northeast. We've gone several places locally, down towards the south. I haven't done any of the salt pork stuff or anything like that.
Mr. Lee wants to know, how big do bullfrogs get and where can I find them? We've got really big bullfrogs in our private lake. They in smaller ponds, especially like golf course ponds up around this area, you'll get bullfrogs that are really big, like almost paper plate size bullfrogs.
Those are some big frog legs.
Yeah, I don't know. I've eaten frog legs before, like at restaurants. I've never caught one of them giant bullfrogs and said, let's eat his legs and see what they taste like. But
chicken. I have some tadpoles over here, Mr. Lee. I can send you some. I don't think that would go over big.
Raise them up, see how big they get.
No, I think they're an invasive species that I'm raising over here.
And then you got the whole dilemma of you get close to them, you name them, they become part of the family, and then you're trying to eat them one day, and some people
feed them to the best.
With that.
Yeah, no, there were some, I guess one of these frogs around here laid some eggs in a bucket, and the owner of the home just was like, oh, they started to hatch, so I put them in a kiddie pool. I bought some fish food. They love it.
As I say, you think the birds would show up and just eat them out of there.
Nope. And it's true, because down here you'll get a lot of like ibis that'll come in your yard and eat, the grubs or whatever's in your yard, and all these different, birds around. So, I mean, hell, even in Arizona, I had like a blue heron come and empty a pond out. It, had goldfish and whatever in it. But no, these are pretty protected, and I just want to see what they turn into. I think they're the Cuban tree frogs, but it's pretty neat to see the metamorphosis that they go through.
When I was a kid, we had a little, swimming pool sized pond that it was probably like a foot deep, and it had a pump in it that recirculated the water in it so it wouldn't get all scuzzy. And in the spring, we'd buy, just little feeder goldfish at the store for 49 cents a piece, throw a dozen of them in there. By the end of the summer, the damn things grew to be like, 8-10 inches long. But what we would do is put like 2 bricks or 2 rocks in there with a big flat rock over it so that they could swim under them and because otherwise the fish would eat them out of there within a day or two.
Sure.
Or not the fish, the birds.
The birds, yeah.
We just give them something they could swim under and hide under.
Yes, Ben, I'm in Florida.
Hey, you got a mess of frogs up there, don't you, Jeff?
Yeah, it's crazy because it's just that whole ecology of sitting there in January when it's 30 degrees below zero and the wind's blowing 40 miles an hour, and you think, how can a frog or a turtle live through this shit, right? And yet there they are in the spring. It's crazy.
Well, don't frogs like have an antifreeze?
They
in their blood
actually go into almost a hibernation stage to where I found frogs when the water was like 35 degrees and the ice just melted. I found some frogs like in a culvert ditch, and you pull them out and they're cold and they're stiff, like they're half frozen, and their legs are all stretched straight out. And I mean, it's like there's nothing to them. And yet, if you held them in your hands for long enough to warm them up, all of a sudden they start moving like they wake up.
That's crazy.
But they'll sit there for months in that stage, I think.
Well, up there, I mean, it's fucking 8 months of winter. So it wasn't in Wisconsin anyway. I've never seen winter last so long.
Yeah. I've only spent one winter up there in Wisconsin. We must have been the light one. It wasn't too bad that year.
Down in Florida, do you get like muskrats?
Yeah, no. She says no.
They make little dens, grass hut dens and stuff, mounds and out in the shallow water. Muskrats are, they're kind of like beaver, except they don't have the big flat tail. They're not as big.
No, my dad, when he was a kid, used to hunt
the
them
sides
or
of
trap
the
them
bank.
in New Jersey. There was a lot of muskrats, but we had a lot of pack rats in Arizona.
I have a neighbor that we really don't get along. It's a love-hate thing. We'll act like we like each other, but really we have disdain for each other. And we have muskrats in this little private lake, and I'd seen them the other day. They kept going up to his shoreline, and they were burrowing. They make dens like underneath of the shore. So you could be standing on grass, 10 inches, a foot from the water's edge, and it's all hollow under you, right? And I seen him out this summer. He was mowing his lawn on a riding lawnmower, and it was a slope that goes down to the lake. So he was already riding lengthwise along the shoreline at an angle, and he went along where that muskrat den was and all caved in. Him and his mower rolled into the lake. It was the funniest damn thing I ever saw.
I hope he was all right.
Yeah, I think he was. I didn't go check on him.
Had to get a new mower, though. Me again. What's up, Jay?
Hey, Jay-Bird.
Hey, guys.
How you doing?
I twisted my knee.
How'd you do that?
What?
I don't know how. I did. Sometimes you do things you just don't know how it happened,
No.
Line got a little crazy at Dairy Queen, did it? Pushing and shoving?
No, I just woke up and my knee was hurting, but it's okay. I have got a brace on it, kind of stabilize it. It's part of getting old, I guess.
Well, Jay, we're getting to that age where it gets harder each time you try to heal up from something like that.
Takes a little bit longer.
It's some wild nights, Jay.
At least that coal was floor when I put my foot on it.
Yeah.
I'm doing okay other than that.
Good.
I'm doing okay. I was listening to all that fishing stories.
You been getting out at all?
I went it was 3 or 4 days ago. I can't remember what day.
I know about 4 people just went, oh shit, here we go again.
No, I caught a few. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, good for you. What are you using for bait?
Actually, I was using a white trickworm.
How are you holding your mouth?
I take a white trickworm and put it on about a 6-inch leader on my braid, and just jerk it. This time of year, it looks like a dead shad,
That's how we fish. That's how I prefer to fish largemouth bass up here, is fishing Senkos or Sluggos, those straight plastic baits on a 2-aught hook with no weight. You throw it out there, and
it just rigging them like you're putting it in the center.
It just glides so easily through the water, and when you just twitch the line, it looks like an injured shad.
Sometimes I'll even double hook. I'll put 2 hooks on them, and I don't rig them straight. I always make them crooked. and it makes them jerk crazy like they're dying.
Yeah. But it really is sight fishing because you know, unless you're really working clear water, but you cast it way out there, it hits the water and your line will lay slack on the water. So when you give it a little twitch and that line goes slack, you'll see the line pulse up, like the line just from slack to straight, and you got to set that's when
I never let the worm out of my sight. I let it sink. You know, when it starts getting in my sight, I jerk it. You know, I never let it get out of my sight. So that's all I'm gonna say. That's all the fishing I've done.
Yeah, we better stop fish talking.
Yeah.
So how about them bears? What else we got?
How's it going, Brandy?
I appreciate y'all letting me talk the other night, Jeff. On Steve's show.
I'd heard your story before, and I'm still intrigued every time I hear it, Jay. I love hearing it.
Yeah, it's a great story. It was, you know, it was great, Jay.
Well, I feel like I don't like to be the focus of the show. I don't like attention. Yeah, I don't like to be in the focus, you know, of the show.
Well, I'll tell you this: after the show was over, Steve calls me and Leon and Joe were there talking for quite a while after visiting afterwards and catching up on stuff. But I mean, both Steve and Leon and Joe were all really saying good things about you, Jay, about how they felt that, you know, they could tell that it's not easy for you to share that, but they appreciated the genuine way that you did, and all agreed that it's a blessing to others when you do share it. But I understand it's not. Guy don't just want to push a button and say, let me tell you about my encounter story.
No,
you know?
I don't even like to talk about it to this day. You know, I appreciate Russell letting me talk on his show.
It's not that I let you. It's you know.
Yeah,
you're more than welcome. Thank you for sharing with us.
Yeah, but I just cannot stand being the focus of anything. You know the truth, you know.
I think you're comfortable on camera. It's that feeling of somebody analyzing you. You know,
I was listening to that when Leon was talking. I was trying to listen to every word he said intently. You know, not that Leon's so friggin' smart. You know, and just listening to him. That validated, not that you guys hadn't, but what he said really validated that made me feel good. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Good. And there was some things that were mentioned in chat. I know Brandy and others were bringing up things that, you know, look, this isn't an exact science. No. Leon will give you kind of that impression that this is an exact science. And to a degree it is. I mean, a lot of measuring deception in people there is kind of a good science to it. But, you know, like Brandy was saying, well, when you just pull up a video of somebody you've never seen before, and you might say, this woman seems like a freak, or she's out there, whatever. You don't know what her normal personality cadence of speech is and mannerisms are for a reference base to compare what you're judging her on in this 10 minutes or 20-minute video. And there's some truth to that. But
I'm sitting there and I told what I told, you know, but then you guys you talk, and then it brings up other memories that I've thought of over the years, you know, and so I have to bring that up. And I feel like I'm just not comfortable doing that yet, you know.
In time, if it's something you feel you need to talk to, you have a place to talk to people. You know,
they're asking, where did Jay tell a story? He was on Steve Cole's show last night.
Sunday night.
Or Sunday night, I'm sorry.
And he told it here a while back.
You never know. You never know, Jay. There might be somebody out there that was in the same position, and thanks to you, they no longer
Yeah.
feel so quite alone. So
Well,
And for you to go back to the the scene, those woods that you had your experience in, and it was an LBL, wasn't it?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That took a lot, man.
Actually, it wasn't right in LBL. It was our farm backed up to Land Between the Lakes.
Okay.
Well,
you went back in the woods, and on your way out, you flipped them off.
Flipped them off. You've been in my head for 55 years, and I won. Yep.
What Trackway just said is true, though. I mean, it's I don't think anybody who's genuinely had an encounter of some sort like that really tells it for the attention of telling it. They're telling it, one, because it is a little bit unburdening if you haven't told it before to share it.
Absolutely.
And two, it's like I've referred to before. I mean, there is no university that's handing out a doctorate of Bachelor of Science degree in Bigfootology. We're all professors and we're all students. We learn from each other, and we have the opportunity to teach each other sometimes. And
Russell and Stevie will tell you when I'm kind of quiet on her, Russell. I remember when I kind of stayed to myself, and I'm kind of a quiet person. I know I joke a lot in chat, but really personality wise, I'm kind of quiet and keep
Jay,
things.
if you took the time to share your story with somebody, and afterwards they said, man, let me tell you about an experience that I had, and then they tell you about a story that they experienced, would you say the better part of that interaction was you sharing the story or getting to listen to their story?
Getting to listen to their story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I like to share my encounter when I have a chance with somebody, is because, if you were to go somewhere and speak to a group of people and share your encounter, it's not that hour you share it. It's the 4 or 5 people that are lined up afterwards and, dude, let me tell you what happened to me. To me, that is the best part. I could sit there all day and listen to people share this story.
That's the reason I come on here is to listen to people and what's happened to them over their lifetimes. I get off on that.
Yeah, I just wish more people would come on and tell their stories.
I wish they would we're all family now,
It's true, though.
Pat,
that's how I look at this community as a big family.
Yeah.
Pat did something the other night on his show that was intriguing. Is he just tried a format kind of like Sean G's format, where he had posted a phone number, a Google number that came in, and you could call it. There was no face. Nobody. There was some anonymity to it if you chose not to disclose who you were. And I was actually, when Pat said, hey, I'm thinking about trying this, he was telling me about what he wanted to do. I thought, we'll see if it works. I thought it's kind of like the old radio DJ calling, right?
Sure.
Call the radio DJ and tell him about how your girlfriend just broke your heart. Can you play this song, right? But I was really amazed that, I think Raptor and some other people called in. And these are people that normally wouldn't click the StreamYard link and go on camera, or even the way Trackway's on now with it, he doesn't have his face on there, but, you're putting a name on there, whether it's your name or not. And there's just some comfortability, I think, for some people to dial a phone number and talk to you rather than get on a camera.
I'm the opposite. Like, I've called into, like, say, Paranormal Portal would have a call in. You could call in to give you the number, and I would be more nervous calling in than doing this.
Well, I think from the viewers' point of view, Mogs, I prefer to watch a show where I can see the face of somebody who's telling me about the experience that happened to them, versus listening to a audio spectrogram flashing as somebody's talking. But I guess to everybody's different. Some people are old school, I guess.
Tacey Hal, how are you? Good to see you.
I know somebody's going to say, no, wait a minute. You said you had your dad had a 2,400 acre farm, and you live 20 miles. We leased acreage too, folks. That's it wasn't all in one plot, you know.
Well, good night, gentlemen. It was a pleasure.
Hey,
TW,
Trackway, thanks for coming on. Good to see you. Good talking to you.
you hang in there, TW. You keep putting cameras out around ponds. You're gonna gather up something, brother.
Yeah, I want to see your footage in the future.
All right.
Hell, I don't care if there's a Bigfoot on it or not. I'd just like to
Let's see
watch
if
you
he
fish
catches
for a
fish.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Trackway. Yeah, I watch a lot of fishing shows, you know, like guy just goes out and puts some cameras up and fishes all these different mid country spillways, you know.
Yeah, I follow him too. He's from
618.
Nebraska.
That's how I got it started coming on YouTube, is watching fishing shows. There was a kid, his name was John B or something like that, and he was like 8 or 9 years old, and I have followed that boy ever since then, and I followed him all the way to went into service till he's gotten married. I mean, I followed that kid ever since he was like 9 years old. Good little fisherman too. I mean,
Yeah, I've followed another a young guy who lives way off the grid up in Canada in a little house that runs off a generator, a little cabin he built with his bare hands, and he runs trap lines and he traps coyotes and wolves up there. Has a really thick Canadian accent. That's what's kind of funny about it, is the way he talks sometimes. But you know, he'll turn on the camera when he's I have to fix my truck. This broke down, and he's out in the shop fixing it. You know, it's just intriguing to see somebody living like that every day. You know.
Yeah.
Judy says, "Grasshopper, are you in Arkansas?"
Judy needs to come on and tell her story sometime. I finally talked her into coming on YouTube, but now she needs to come in and tell her story. She saw something down here in Florida, I think it was. Isn't that right, Judy? I think it was.
Yeah, she did live down here for a while, didn't she?
Yeah. Over around, I think, a little east of Tampa, I think.
I watch that Trapper sometimes also, Jeff.
Yeah, it's something about diesels and trap lines. I'm trying to remember what he calls it.
It's not Will Omer, is it?
No.
If you guys ever want to,
I've never done was trap. I never My dad did it when he was a kid, but I wouldn't know where to begin.
If you guys ever want to go to a good YouTube channel, this guy's name's Will Umer, Ulmer, and he's a tracker and trapper and everything. He's 6'8", great big, tall, skinny dude, but boy, he knows his stuff.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
That's 6'8".
Yeah.
It's a big dude.
Mayreed, good night. Thanks for hanging out with us. Sorry if we bored you with all the fishing talk.
Yeah, I think we chased about half of them off, don't you?
Yeah,
Especially the women.
There's still almost 60 people hanging out.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, if anybody wants to pop on, I know Dill has been posting the link in chat, and I will do it again right now. If anybody wants to join us, change the subject, we have no problem with that.
Somebody new come on. Come on, let's see a new face.
That channel I was talking about is called Trap Lines and Inlines.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Because he's a Dodge freak. He inline diesels. Trap lines and inlines.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool channel.
Mogs, it says 10 people in chat.
You need to refresh.
Maybe in the UK, there's 10 UK people here.
No. Well, 59, like it says 58 watching, and that's what they are. They're watching. How many are in chat? Could be 10 people. I can't see from this side. I'd have to be on YouTube where you can click those 3 buttons and it says participants, and usually you can see who's in chat there. Megan, good to see you. Don't be a stranger. Good night, Mogs. I'm going to run my fingers on a chalkboard. Wow. Why are you telling me all this, Mr. Lee?
Well, I know that wasn't right. That's not right.
He's trying to get you
Because
down.
when I went in there, and
I show
punched-
you got 45 likes and 54 people watching right now.
I started saying when I went in there,
Asian Sasquatch, what's
I
up,
got
buddy?
I got it. I was like, my bad. I got like 19 windows open. It took me a second to find it right away. How you
No
doing?
worries.
Faster Man says he's got a split personality, so he counts for 2 watchers.
But are they both watching on the same device?
I think Mr. Lee's just trying to take the wind out of your sails.
You get it, right? I don't care how many people are watching. If it's 4 people with 39 devices, that's fine too.
Yeah. Got my phone, my iPad, my computer.
Actually,
I'd much rather have 39 people or maybe even 50 watching on 39 devices. That would be really cool.
that would be interesting.
Right? If you had 2 or 3 people watching on the same TV somewhere. Sometimes
It'd be cool if you could have 56 watchers on one device at the bar and you could be at the bar with them while you're doing the show.
I swear to you, I'll hack that by the end of the week. I'm not, they can't do that. But I was thinking, like, when I go to a bar, if like that chapter releases a video and the bar has a webcast TV and I can cast it to the TV, I've yet to get a complaint about putting that chapter on a TV in public. There might be 30 people watching that video. He gets 1 view. He's got 1.3 million folks. Why would it matter?
Huh.
Right?
33 subscribers, huh, Mr. Lee?
E3PO.
I've never. That's like a mass. Just everybody unsubscribes. At
Yeah.
once.
You must have drowned a litter of puppies on camera or
Right.
something to lose that many overnight.
Could you imagine? Grasshopper says, I used to run my fingernails across in the chair room. Man, the off-key
Well, in the
screaming
choir
was
room.
epic. Oh, choir. I
Choir.
can't see. Choir. It's an O. Duh. That's funny, though.
It is.
So let's screw with the chorus.
I was just thinking about the looks you'd be getting from folks. Like, oh,
All right. So what did I miss, Dill? Tacey Hale needs some support and help. Any mokesters up to the challenge?
Elaborate.
Yeah, please. I want to go back and
Miss Dill's little avatar thing is cute.
well, I'm sure we can help out, Tacey. I'm just not sure how.
Yeah, I was trying to look through the chat to see if Tracy had said anything. I wonder if this is just something that Miss Dill's aware of.
No, it's something. I guess she's going through a hard time right now. So hold on. Tacey, do you have PayPal?
Yeah,
If
I
you,
don't.
if you
Is
have
this some?
PayPal,
Is
we'll
this a
put it.
financial struggle, or is this
Yeah,
a pray for me struggle, or?
No, she's hey, did she post that? That she's where she's living? Yeah, she's having some problems.
Oh, okay. So here she
She
said,
says she's living in her van. She's homeless at the moment.
"Well, she's one of the family. If she's got a PayPal or some Venmo or some way to help her."
Yeah, if there's anything you know, any way we could post anything, Casey, let us know. You know, what is that? Post a give, send, go, Tracy.
I don't know what a give, send, go
I
is.
remember me neither.
Cash App, Venmo, PayPal.
She says Cash App. Tracy says I have Cash App.
There you go. All she needs to do is give us the Cash App name or tag name that she uses on there, and then we can.
Yeah, just the tag name's all she has to do.
And that's nice. It goes right into her bank account rather than,
Yeah, that's right.
you know, somebody taking a large cut.
Yeah, that's why I haven't posted my PayPal account in a while. But that's why I would go through PayPal, is because, you know, some of these things just take so much money.
I like Venmo too. I noticed the last time we were on vacation, we were at a pretty nice hotel and we were eating at the restaurant, and the server came up with the bill at the end of the meal, and I asked the server, I said, "Do you have Venmo?" And she smiled and she said, "You don't know how many people," she said, "I wish everybody asked me that, because I can pay that flat rate of the bill and leave no tip, and she'll give me her Venmo thing. I'll pull up my phone and give her $20 on Venmo for a tip. It's not reported. She don't have to claim it. The restaurant's not going to take a cut of it." And I've noticed now, I've heard people that say when you go to like Disney down in Orlando, that almost all of the people that work at Disney that you would want to tip, whether it's at a hotel or a restaurant, they all use Venmo. So I encourage people to ask servers or bartenders or whatever, somebody you would normally tip, say, "Do you have Venmo?" Because that's cash in their account. They don't have to report it, and they don't have to share it with their employer or anything.
I've heard of it. I've never used it.
I use that Cash App. I got one grandchild, and I send it $100. I send him $100 a month for his college fund. You know.
So Tasty says, "I have every app under my real name." So if we search TACYHALE on Cash App, you should be able to find her account.
Well, I did. I had that. Yes, Cash App, Tasty Hal. So yeah, I mean, if anybody can help out Tasty, we'd appreciate it. She'd appreciate it, and I'm glad we can be of assistance.
Yep.
It's not easy. I've been there. I've done that. It's not easy. What did Miss Still say? Tasty Hale, give us smokes or some info. We're working on it. I'm gonna do a little banner, I guess. Hold on. Is it at what would it be, at Cash App, or if I were to just put a banner up?
I just went into Cash App and typed TACYHALE, and it brought up her deal.
The best way I've found is to copy the link and pin it to the top of the chat like you would your StreamYard link, and just leave it there until you're ready to pull it down.
Just put through Cash App.
Yeah, it was create a banner. Yeah, I don't have the link for that, so let's see. So if you guys look up Cash App and put in Tacey Hale, you will find her. Jeff just did it. So thank you now for anybody who does help out. I'll hook you up somehow, Tacey. Oh, wait. Wanted to leave that up, but I had to pull up comments. Jimbo says, gotta know her Cash App.
No, I just put in Tacey Hale and it'll bring it up.
All you gotta do is type the name in. It'll come up.
When you open the app, you're going to type in the amount. So you type in a dollar amount and you click send, and then it brings up a name, and you can put TACY space HALE. It auto populates. It'll show somebody under hers with the name HALE TRACY, or something like that, but it'll show hers at the top.
Thanks, Jeff. She says, thanks, everyone. I've signed up for HUD, but haven't heard back from them, and I apply for Section 8 program the 27th. Well, God willing, everything will come through, and, you'll have some help. But in the meantime, let's see what we can do. Mr. Lee say, Nikki, jump on. What do we have? 30 minutes left, thereabouts.
So what's your experience? I don't like Nick. What's your first name, Caucasian?
Raymond.
Raymond, what's your experience?
I live in I grew up in a Georgia swamp, about 14 miles from the nearest civilization.
Okay.
I came across a guy that I refer to as a hobo in a fur coat, but he was in a place and time where no one would wear a fur coat. Most importantly, he was not 7 foot tall. He wasn't 8 foot tall. He was closer to like 6'4" and built like a European footballer. A little thick up top, but really thick legs.
Yep.
And I thought it was a bear for a second. Then I thought I saw a gorilla for a second. And I was like, no. And then it stood up, walked away, and I was like, okay. And I was so flabbergasted, I couldn't do anything but like stand there.
Yeah.
I was like, is that a bear? Oh shit, it might be a bear. And I kind of got that, uh-oh. And then it stood up, walked away, and I went, that's not a bear. So I call it a fur coat, but he wasn't wearing a fur coat.
Caucasian, do me a favor and turn your camera off for like 10 seconds and then turn it back on. Because in chat, Patrick Vaughn says, I'm so stealing the Caucasian Bigfoot profile pic.
Oh.
But now I got to see what it is.
It's Snowflake the gorilla.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I have a different one that I was using up until like last week. Let's see if I can figure it out.
So yeah, guys, I'm going to leave this up for a little while longer. If anybody needs the information, Cash App, Tacey Hale. I appreciate it. I thank you guys now.
So you had the experience of seeing one close to then, Raymond?
Yes, sir. About 45 feet.
Yeah, mine was about 20 feet away from me. Yeah.
Hey, I got a question for you. Hold up. I want you to see me when I ask this. Did you smell anything?
I did not. One reason I had a bunch of dang pigs, and all I could smell was pigs, a bunch of wild boar,
All right. So I had a neighbor at the time. This was in high summer, and we were where I'm at. We don't have cabbages. People don't grow cabbages in the summer. It's too hot, right?
Yeah.
This thing smelled like it had subsisted on a diet of sauerkraut and rotten cabbage its entire life.
Really?
It was one of the most unique and funkiest smells I've ever encountered.
Well, don't they have swamp cabbage down there?
Yeah, skunk cabbage.
Skunk cabbage?
Sure, but not in the middle of a drought, in the middle of a swamp that's usually like 8 foot deep, but was dry as a bone at the time.
Oh,
wow.
okay.
See, that's the thing is like in 97 down here, we had this really, really horrible drought. It was like 2 months straight for like 60 some odd days. We got no rain. And it's a cloud forest here. It rains twice a day sometimes.
Mhm.
And you go more than 10 days without rain and stuff starts getting a little bit droopy.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and we went 60 some odd days without rain. My little swamp had turned into a sandy desert in the bottom, and there was nothing but a tiny little creek running through the middle of it.
Yeah.
I went out hunting and didn't find anything moving because it was 104 degrees and dry as a bone. So I went, well, shoot, the old sinkhole over here always has water in it. I'll go fishing in it, right? And I headed over to where there's always water, turned a little corner and was like, there's a bear. That's not a bear. Is that a gorilla? Is that a chimp? What is that? And walked away. He just looked over his shoulder at me like, darn, I was thirsty too.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
And I was like, okay. And I walked over and put my foot in his footprint. And then I put my shoe back on, turned and walked back to the house. And that was maybe a quarter mile away from where I was living at the time.
But it smelled like rotten cabbage.
Like sauerkraut, rotten cabbage, and a guy who hasn't taken a shower in about 2 months. Have you ever?
That's what I was gonna say. That's what Stevie B said Jay smelled like on the drive back from Arizona.
It's similar, she said.
That's another reason I kind of call it a hobo in a fur coat. Now, it's 102 degrees in the middle of August and the driest period I have in conscious memory. I'm 40 years old, and that's the driest I've ever seen that area. I mean, even the beaver dams had second built their houses because the water was so low they could their lodges were being uncovered, and so they had built a lower lodge in all of the beaver ponds.
Wow.
It was dry.
That's pretty dry.
I mean, I figured that's the only reason I came across it in the first place.
Yeah. The only water hole around.
There was a little water, but the rest of the water available would have been more stagnant than anything else. The Medlock hole is actually a sinkhole that's 60 foot deep. There's always water in the Medlock hole.
Yeah.
So if you don't know where it's at out there and you go diddy bopping your boat through that area, you drop your anchor off in it, you don't get your anchor back. I don't know what's down there and I don't know what's going on, but it just goes in and you're stuck until you cut the rope and leave.
Really?
Just nothing, anything goes in the Medlock hole doesn't come back out.
That's crazy.
Where I'm
You
at,
don't go noodling in that hole.
no, sir.
No.
It's, like I said, it's usually under around 12 foot of water. So you don't know it's there except for by the way the trees grow in a ring around it. Right? Nobody cuts the trees real close to it, even when it's dry, because the ground's not stable there. It's obviously a sinkhole. It's perfectly round. And if you drop a lead off in it, 60 foot. Now, whether that's straight down or it catches a current and goes somewhere, I couldn't tell you. But I have dropped a trot line in there and pulled out a 15-pound catfish. And I have also had a 22-pound leatherback snapping turtle pulled out of it on basically the same hook in exactly the same spot. Prehistoric stuff down there, dude.
I was gonna say the catfish may have had two tails when you who knows what's down there.
I'm over a karst formation, so there's a bunch of openings. There's lime sinks and caves and caverns, but it's a swamp too, so they're all full of water and it's all underground.
Yeah.
So there's no telling what you'll catch out that hole.
Drake C, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, that's weird that sinkhole, like, there's got to be a current or something in there
Yeah, no.
that's
I can
pulling.
tell you for a fact that about 2 miles above where that hole's at on this same year, at that same time, the creek was a good 6 foot wide, and it runs out into the sandy area where it goes down to about a shoestring, not much water at all. And from there to the Medlock hole, it runs off into the Medlock hole this wide, barely fills it up, and then runs out this wide.
I was
And
gonna
that's
say
what I
it's probably filled with a lot. It got a lot of sediment at the
There's a
bottom of it
bunch of current down there. I can tell
that
you
gets
that.
Got to be
real
spring. I bet it's spring fed.
Mm-hmm. All of it is. All of it. Yeah. I had water bubbling across the surface in my yard. I was so close to the water table there.
Well, at least it probably doesn't get too sulfuric or anything down in the real deep stuff.
Bell Prepper, what's up? Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while.
Bell Prepper.
Bell Prepper. That's a good name. I like that.
It usually says Bell Prepper Portal Hug Monster, but I see she shortened her name.
Green swamps. I'm Blackwater swamp, baby. But in a swamp in general, I'd like poncho. Some form of fire starter, a lighter if possible. It ain't gotta be, but I'd prefer it. Good Zippo would be nice. One roll of string and some fish hooks, we're good. I go wherever the hell you want to go.
I'd wish for bigger. So I'd say first thing I want is a helicopter.
To get me my ass out of the damn swamp.
Okay, but no, I grew up there. It's good. We'll be good. We're fine. We're good.
I'd take an airboat's what I'd take.
Y'all have fun with that.
Well, anytime you're remote and you're only given a limited number of items, the first item I want is a magnesium fire starter.
Right.
Number one, unequivocally. From there, we can work forward.
Right. Exactly. Where I'm at right here in a cloud forest, so it doesn't have to rain for there to be no tinder. I can just about build a fire underwater because everything here is always wet. The humidity is always around 99%, and in the mornings it's nothing but a cloud. You go outside, there's clouds everywhere. It's fog on the ground.
I'd have to bring like you said, a good fire starter, but also a good knife.
Yeah, a good knife. I figure I'd have my knife and my pistol. I don't go.
Yeah, you only get 5 items, so
yeah, but I don't go anywhere without that. That's 5 items.
So
plus
there's the pistol, the magazine, and the full magazine. Does that all count as one item, or does each bullet count as a separate item?
My holster is attached to me, and it's going.
So you just say I want my chest rig, and then I've got everything that I need. I got my knife.
There you go. You get one gun. It's going to be my full assault kit. I'm coming out dressed like Antifa, but with better taste.
Yeah. Your pants are pulled up all the way.
I'd have to have a year's supply of Sonic chocolate milkshakes.
All right, now he's talking. You got to roll them out on the roller skates too, right out there.
Yeah.
Jay needs his chocolate milkshakes, Advil.
Patrick says the swamp will teach you what not to step on.
That's true.
That's the truth.
That's true. And it's funny because I was there for so long. I lived there for 25 years. Even knee deep in water, that I get this weird feeling and stop, and I don't know why. And then I'll poke around and realize, oh, there's a bunch of eels in that hole, or there is a hole. And I didn't know. It was just my subconscious picked up on it somehow. It knows. I don't know how, but it knows.
And them cypress knees are everywhere.
Man, those things will hurt you.
They will hurt you.
They'll break a canoe if you catch it the wrong way. It will straight break a canoe's back. And it won't be but just this much too shallow for you to go through.
Yep.
Like click, and the next thing you know, you're holding up. It's terrible.
Never been
too much
in a
dangerous stuff down there.
Cypress swamp.
Where
But it's
I
all
live, you stay away from the wolves and the mountain lions. You're okay here, but down there, there's just too much other shit. Poison spiders.
That's what trips me out about being in Florida is just the alligators. You know,
Yeah, no, that would be like I got a buddy of mine that lives down there, and every now and then he sends me a photograph from his front door, and it'll be some form of prehistoric beast just hanging out. He's not
chilling
doing
out.
nothing. He's just there, laying in the sun, chilling. I'm like, that's good eating, dude.
Out of season.
Pyromedic. Pyro says Jay really is drinking and sure, just dreaming.
You
Do
guys,
they make an Ensure that's Sonic chocolate shake flavored?
Absolutely not. No way.
every one of you people can kiss my patootie. Every one of you.
You know why we tease you, Jay?
I know.
Because we
Right,
love
you
you.
had a good time.
We love you like a brother or a great grandfather. Just depends on who it is.
I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming.
Too funny. Who else?
The other night, somebody was typing in chat to Caucasian Sasquatch with a really interesting typo. Did anybody notice that? Did you see
Uh-oh.
that the other night?
It was snark and sass. It wasn't a typo.
Somebody put cuck Asian Sasquatch, not
Yeah,
Caucasian.
Mr. Self-Destruction, Snark and Sass, or there's another one that does it too. I think Show Me Sasquatch. I think he does that too. Seems people are offended by my name.
I gotta get out of here. I gotta put some ice on my knees, so y'all be good people, okay?
All right,
Yeah,
Jay.
I hope your
See
knee
ya. Heal up. Feel better.
Yeah,
Don't
it'll get better. I just tweaked it. That's all I did, you know.
Just
I gotta
tell your
come down there
girlfriend
soon,
to
Jay.
take it easy on you.
Okay. See you later, guys.
All right, Jay. Have a good night. Thanks again. Yeah, Jay's only hour and a half from here. So
Which way, north or south?
south.
Okay.
So
Because you get about an hour and a half north of you, and you're starting to get into my territory. Not terribly far, anyway.
So within an afternoon, you could do a welfare check if necessary on him.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Or I could just ride down and go fishing with him.
There was that one time when nobody had heard from Jay for like 2 days, and everybody was worried like they were going to call the sheriff's department or something to go check on him.
Yeah, we finally got through to him.
I had that happen. I was having some technical issues with my roof. I was paying some folks to put a roof on my house, and then the company disappeared. And so I just shut down my YouTube channel entirely and stopped doing everything for about 9 days. On the 9th day, I got 127 emails. God knows how many Discord messages. It was like they were sitting around in the same room and decided somebody needed to check on me. Who's going to do it? And they all did it. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, no, I haven't put anything up. They probably think I'm dead or something. The thing was, I was freaking out because I thought I just lost 40 grand. And I really couldn't talk about anything but losing 40 grand while I was thinking about having just lost 40 grand.
You become a little fixated on it, I suppose.
Yeah, a little.
We bet.
Yeah. But it all worked out fine. And it all worked out fine about 2 days after they started emailing me. But I appreciated all of it. I mean, it kind of did my heart a real warming, because it humbled me. It really did, because these people actually cared enough to take time out of their day, not just to have a conversation about me, but for all of them independently, without ever making a decision who was going to do it, to start emailing. That's nuts.
No, it's great to have a community that does pay attention and give a shit, you know?
But I didn't see it coming, I was over there doing YouTube stuff, and then something happened, and I was like, okay, well, I'll get back to the YouTube stuff, and I did my real life stuff for a minute, and then that chilled out. I was like, okay, well, I need to start checking. Oh no. Oh no. I had to do a proof of life video.
All right, we're in for something, but coming up, guys. Hold on. I don't know who this is, but
All right.
Dino
It's
versus
Andy.
Big Mama.
I don't know about the guy on the right or the guy on the left, but that one in the middle is Willie Nelson.
I don't think it's a guy. I have a feeling this may be Nikki.
I'm leaning towards Nikki too, but Dino.
Oh, there's Pat's Velociraptor costume we
Velociraptor.
want him to wear in the forest.
They're and Sasquatch having a. I think they love each other.
This is this is why
A
you never
Sasquatch.
know what you're gonna get.
All right, so Dino versus Big Mama. Are they fighting or like making out? I can't
The
decide.
only reason why I say I think it's Nikki is because I seen her say in chat that she had gotten a bunch of new costumes.
Ah, there you go.
Maybe that was the clue. Maybe not.
That'd be tough to trick or treat in, wouldn't it?
We're about to find out.
What's up, Nikki?
What's up? Woo, it's hot.
See you ready for Halloween?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Who was wearing the other costume?
My daughter.
Right on.
So we just witnessed child abuse.
She's like 3 foot taller than you.
I know.
Oh,
She's that much stronger too.
That was awesome.
Whew.
I was like, "Yep, never know what you're gonna get." I saw it down backstage, and I'm like, "Oh shit, what's this?"
Well, that's what
Read it.
happened last night on Steve Cole's show, Squatch D. I came on with my killer clown.
Just for a
And he
moment,
was like-
too. It was like
Yeah, just for a
8
moment.
seconds, and she was gone.
Well, I got to get people pumped because I'm going to have a lot of new costumes this year.
Nice.
So, what do you do it just for the month of October or something, or?
For Squatchoween, October 30th on Sunday show, I'm going to have I'm going to make it traditional, dress up. Last year, I changed costumes 13 times
Damn.
in a 2-hour, it was a little over 2 hours, 2-hour
Maybe
show.
we can get Jay to get in the mop costume. What was
Oh,
it?
yeah, he's going to be there, but he won't tell me what he's going to be wearing.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, anyway, we were just trying to get on to beat before you shut down.
No, that's cool.
Yeah. The full moon is awesome right now. Ouch. Let me
What was
see
that,
if I
Nick?
can. The full moon is really awesome. Oh, it looks tiny in the camera.
Yeah, we saw
That's
it. We saw it the other night. I guess it was Saturday night. When was it?
Dubious.
Or full moon? Sunday night.
The
Yeah, that
true
was
harvest
cool.
moon.
Hunter moon, harvest moon. Yeah.
Look at time.
Bandito bandana.
Your feet are going to be wet. The grass is all wet over there.
It's like the first time I've ever worn a yellow bandana. So,
Banana bandito. I just want to say that.
I honestly thought the T-Rex was going to take you down, Nikki, but your daughter is probably like, don't make me tap you in front of all
Well,
your
you know
friends online.
Hold on, let me show you. I tripped on my shoes,
oh,
my big feet, and so yeah, I almost did fall.
Do you have the Todd Standing gloves to go with them? Or?
so
They're attached.
Oh, there you go.
The hands are attached. Anyway, no, it's going to be a fun show, but we just stopped on to give a little bit of laughs before we take off.
and when is it on the 30th?
Yeah, the 30th. The show before Halloween will be the 30th. So.
But what
Mr.
day
Lee
is that?
just put the.
Oh, it's Sunday. It's Sunday.
Okay.
Mr.
Yeah,
Lee put
Halloween.
your link in the chat. So if you're not familiar with Nikki's channel, you can click there now and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the Halloween party.
Right,
There you
right.
go.
Yeah, I have to hold up my end of the bargain. Everybody keeps texting me. Can't wait to see what you're gonna come up with this year. So, but we're gonna have a contest, best costume contest, and prizes for different games that I'm gonna come up with, and we might have another dinosaur versus Bigfoot again, part 2.
The rematch.
Full
Yeah,
out
the
brawl.
rematch.
The Bigfootening, the Sasquatch.
It's kind of cool. What?
I can't breathe in this
Oh
thing.
yeah.
I was
I
gonna
know,
say,
she's like, "Oh."
turn to look at her. She's like blue. It just falls over. Let her out.
She's gonna start tilting, you know. Then I know something's probably wrong.
Black
But
box
anyway.
again.
Yeah, Donald's right. We're praying that Trish makes a return for Nikki's show.
I will put out invitations here real soon. I have it, so I'm sure he'll enjoy a invitation to the show.
Just curious. Has anybody ever tried hotboxing one of those suits?
Oh,
I don't know why it just crossed my mind, but I've never.
I'd burn a
That
hole
would be
in it.
interesting.
you can get out of that if you want.
Nikki doesn't know what that is.
Can she?
I have a sister. Do you not
Oh, that's
remember?
right.
Just you
Yeah.
run that extra bong line into the side of the suit so that whoever's in it doesn't really know they're gonna get hot boxed.
Well, they did that to me at Mog's house.
No, we didn't. Well, sort of. She got a contact high.
He's one of those mad scientist types, and he built one of those, like gas masks, but he removed the canister and installed and you couldn't tell there was anything weird about it. He'd just walk up, stick it over your face, be like, breathe normally. Don't do
It's
bad.
Ethan.
Good. Great.
Well, look, Forest of Monsters is here. I haven't seen him in the chat forever.
What's up, man? Officially Forest of Monsters.
Oh wow. Hey Rick. What's up, brother? I haven't seen him in a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. Where are we at? 4 minutes left. So if we have to run out, we'll run out there. All right. Sorry. Talking to Stevie real quick.
Well,
It's your channel.
She's trying to place an order for food and like you get so
just
far
gonna
and then
say,
hit
does
the
she
wrong
want to hit
button.
a drive-through somewhere? What's going on?
No, I do.
I prefer Waffle House, but okay. It's
Ah,
actually the waitress.
There's nothing like Waffle House.
yeah, one of
late
them's
night.
enough. We don't need anything to, like copy them.
That's true. If you've never had your ass whipped by 3 guys named Chico in a Waffle House parking lot, you haven't lived.
You haven't lived. Yeah.
You haven't lived.
I think I beat up 3 guys named Chico in a parking lot one time.
Or that was you.
They were beating up some other guy. That was you? No.
Yeah. Thanks. You could have showed up 30 seconds sooner. Go figure. Small world, huh?
Well, I'm gonna take off.
Says,
Oh, hey y'all, I'm back. It's been a long time. Tuned in 2 weeks. Biggest surprise.
I think he went looking into like the Tennessee Bigfoot Festival or something, or maybe it was West Virginia. I can't remember where he was at. But I saw a picture of him on somebody else's stuff where they found him like he was some kind of monster creeping in the dark somewhere. They just caught a picture of him somewhere. And I can't remember where he was at. That was about a week ago.
That's odd.
So he's cooking something. He's got something cooked up. I just don't know what it is.
It's called meth. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I
So
think he's
when he
got
says
somebody
tuned
for
in
that.
2 weeks, he's saying on his channel in 2
Well,
weeks.
yeah,
he's
that's
gonna
what
have
I'm getting
something.
at.
All right. Well, I'm
Well,
gonna fly.
Keep us posted, Eric.
You guys have a good rest of your week. Nice
Jeff,
seeing
good to see you.
Asian Sasquatch and
Yeah,
Nikki.
brother. Much love. Don't let the man get you down.
No. Guys, take care.
All right.
Take
Jeff.
care.
Nikki, thanks. That was fun. I'm
Yep.
looking forward to seeing the rest of your costumes.
Good night, y'all.
Much
Take
love.
care. Well, dude, yeah, I'm gonna call this one. It's been 2 hours already. That went pretty
Yeah,
quick.
you're 14 seconds over. I'm out.
Take it easy, brother. Oh, guys, I hope you had a good time. Sorry about all the fishing talk, but no, I'm not. That's what they want to talk about. That's what we talked about. So anyway, yeah, if you guys enjoyed the show, please hit that like button below. If you're new, subscribe, share this. What else? Leave comments. And I will be back on Thursday. So I'll see you guys in 2 days. And Tacey, I hope everything works out for you. I hope that helped. I know this community, and I know you just got hooked up. So good luck. Keep us informed. What else? That's about it. All right, guys. Everybody, thank you for coming on. I had fun tonight. And I will see you again, like I said, in 2 days. See you Thursday. All right, guys. Good night. Peace and God bless.